Gemara Sanhedrin, Tzadik Beis Amid Aleph. In the Shatten Singh Gemara is 92A2, second column, the last paragraph. In the regular Gemaras, it's again the first of the wide lines on Tzadik Beis Amid Aleph or 92A2, second column. Okay, the Gemara is saying about Nekama and Das. It's between the two names of Hashem. Kel Nekama is Hashem, and Migdash Adnai Kainanu Yadecha. I mean, it's Migdash Kain. You know, it's all about things. So now the Gemara says like this. Amar Rabbi Elazar says, Kol Adam Sheyesh Beideya, any person that has understanding, Kilo Nivna Beis Hamikdash B'Yamav, as if he built the Beis Hamikdash. Whoever has good seichel, it's like they built the Beis Hamikdash. Why? Shazan nitim b'stem shtei eisius, because das, the Gemara said before, Gadol Deya was given Kel Deyas Hashem, and also Beis Hamikdash says Migdash Adnai Kainanu Yadecha. So the Beis Hamikdash is in between two names of Hashem, and Das is between two names of Hashem. So therefore, Rabbi Elazar says, if you have good Das, you think you built a Beis Hamikdash. Then the Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Elazar, Kol Adam Yesh Beideya L'Seif Misashev. Any person who has understanding eventually becomes wealthy. Why? Shenema V'das Chadarim Yimolu. Okay, through the understanding, the rooms are filled. And Kol Hain Yakar V'noim, with all riches, precious and pleasant. So it says, Uvedas, with das, you fill the rooms with money. Hamid Rabbi Elazar is a very famous Gemara. Kol Adam Shein Beideya Asul L'Rachem Olav. Any person that has no deya, no understanding, okay, meaning, as Mefarshim say, he doesn't bother to utilize his seichel. Or basically, another Gemara says the word shaita. Also, l'rachem olav, you can't have pity on him. Shenamar, because it says in the pasuk, Klei am bineisu, he's not a people of understanding. Okay, lo yirachamenu oiseu, therefore his maker shall not have mercy on him. V'yitzra lo yichanun, and the one who formed him shall not grant him favor. So you see, even Hashem doesn't have rachmanas on the shaita. But there's a Chassidus Shetayich of the opposite. It says, Shaita, also you're bound l'rachem olav. You're bound to have pity on him. Or the Rebbe Rashab's brother, the Razal, once said, look at the great Rachmanis on the Shaita. It's such a great Rachmanis that even Torah says you can't have Rachmanis on him. So you can imagine how great the Rachmanis is on the Shaita.
But he said, I don't like someone who's...
Yeah, but it's two different things. Amar Rabbi Elazar, Kol haneis in pitay l'mi she'ein beideya, a person who gives his bread, gives food to a person who has no das, you surim barim olav, you get punished, you get punishments come on you. Shenem alach macha yesimu mazer tachtecha ein tfuna bei. It says because of your bread, they will lay mazer under you, and there's no discreetment in him. And Mazer means Yisurim. Shenama vayar Ephraim es cholav Yehuda es mezerei. Ephraim saw a sickness and Yehuda is suffering. So, by the way, that's a haftarah we say on a fast day. No, I'm sorry, wrong one. It's the haftarah of Vayishlach. Okay. Amar Rabbi Elazar, Kol Adam Shein Beideya. Any person that doesn't have deya, the save Geila. At the end is going to go into Galus. Okay. Why? Shenamar lochein gola ami meblidas. My people got into exile for the lack of understanding. So you see, if you don't have das, then you go into galus. Amar Rabbi Elazar kobay shein divrei Torah nishmoim balayla. Any house that divrei Torah are not listened to her during the day, at night. Any house that Torah is not heard by Namini, there's no learning going on in the house at night, ends up getting burnt. Every darkness is hidden away from its treasures. The fire will consume him. A fire not blown shall consume him. It will be bad for the remnant in his tent. And Sari refers to Talmud Chacham, like it says, Saridim, the scholars or the leftover people that Hashem calls. So you see, the Gemara just saying, this is all Rabbi Elazar saying statements about Torah and understanding. He says, you don't learn Torah in your house at night, it's going to become burnt. By the way, this is not necessarily if literal. House can become burnt doesn't necessarily mean, in a literal sense, you're going to have a fire, called the fire department. It's going to mean there'll be a lot of problems, it'll be consumed, or all these other things also. Rabbi Elazar says, whoever does not support and give money to a Talmud Chacham from his property, will never see a sign of a bracha. There is no remnant to his food. Therefore his goods will not be proper. And again, the Gemara says, Rabbi Elazar says another statement. If you don't leave over bread on your table, when you finish eating, you don't leave over a little bread, you'll not see a bracha in the house. Why? If there's no remnant of his food, his goods shall not prosper. By the way, the Gemara explained, the Mefarshim explained, what this means. Why should he leave over food?
Yes.
No, the Mefarshim explain why. The Gemara asked the question. The Gemara asked the question. So Rabbi Elazar says, okay, you don't have leftover food at your table, bread left over at your table, you don't see a bracha. So the Gemara says, Rabbi Elazar, but the Gemara is contradicting Rabbi Elazar with himself. Rabbi Elazar says, whoever leaves over pieces of bread on his table, it's like you're worshipping idols. Why? It's an interesting halacha. The Shulchan brings down this din, by the way. But Shulchan says the din based on the end of the Gemara. It says you're supposed to leave the bread on the table for benching, to show what you're benching on. Also, the Gemara says over here, if you don't leave bread on your table, you don't see a siman bracha. Yet there's a din in Shulchan Aruch, from this Gemara, by the way, that if you bring bread to the table after benching, it's like idol worshipping. Why? Because the goyim, the Amerim, the darky Ameri as it's called, when they finished eating, they brought new food to the table for their idols. They ate, now they give the idols to eat. So therefore, that's the Gemara's answer. So the Gemara says, so how could Rabbi Elazar say if you don't leave bread over on your table, you don't have a bracha, but the same Rabbi Elazar says, like worshipping idols. So the Gemara says, meaning, when does Rabbi Elazar say it's like worshipping idols, where there's a whole bread together with pieces? I'll explain in a second. Okay, and here the first case, when he says you don't see a bracha, is when there's no complete, it's only crumbs.
Obviously that's for me, right? I eat, I bench, and it's over. But somebody else walks in and he wants to use bread on my table, he can.
No, he says like this. Why should you leave over? It's a very logical thing what he's saying. If you leave over crumbs of bread, pieces of bread, that's the first thing he says. Meshayir pasal shulchanoi. The Gemara says it means only not the whole bread, pieces, because then it shows you're leaving it for the poor people. If you only, and the Mefarshim say, you don't bring a whole bread for the poor people. You give the poor people the pieces. You don't give a whole bread. So therefore, if you leave over a whole bread on the table, that's like worshipping idols. But if you leave over pieces, then it's good, because then you're giving it to the poor people.
Just going back a couple pages, when it says if you don't have das, you're going to be punished and all that, is it das of Torah or common sense?
Das of Torah.
That's the way Chassidus explains it. Like connection to
Well, das is the Gemara. It's another Gemara in the daughter. Manda, say the Avraham Fried made a song. Manda darbe kulebe. If you have seichel, you have everything. That's why when Hashem asked Shlomo Melech, tell me what you want, I'll give it to you. So Shlomo Melech was thinking, what should he ask Hashem for? So he said to Hashem, I want seichel. Because if I have seichel, I have everything. And Hashem said, you're right, and because you said that, I'll give you everything. So he had everything. Das is maturity, by the way. Das doesn't mean Chachma and Bina. Das means the level, like the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya. But when you say somebody's a bar das, you say, this person is a bar das, it doesn't mean he has a lot of knowledge. He means he has a lot of maturity. You can have a 12-year-old kid that's brilliant, but he's not bar mitzvah. Then you have a 13-year-old kid that's nowhere near as smart as a 12-year-old kid. Him you can count for a minion. He's bar mitzvah. Because das comes with age, by the way. Das is a level of maturity that you can have a brilliant 12-year-old kid, he still doesn't have das. Das is a level of maturity, of understanding, connecting, feeling it, realizing the responsibility. You can have an 11, 12-year-old brilliant kid, but the midah of responsibility he doesn't have. That comes from das, and that comes with age.
It sounds like experience.
That's what it is, by the way. Experience is das also. It's all the same thing. It's a level of maturity that comes from experience. All these parenting books, the truth of the matter is, parents that are parents know better than the books. Or I'll give you even in another field. Who would you rather go to? A young doctor who was straight out of school that knows everything modern, or an older doctor that has 40 years, 30 years, 40 years experience? There's no question who you take. You take the person, but that's das. It's not necessarily knowledge. The new doctor might know more knowledge-wise than the older doctor, but there's a certain level of das that comes with experience and maturity and age and so on. Okay, meaning, this is an interesting expression. Normally it means you change your words. But the Mefarshim explain, in fact Rashi says also, Kol HaMachlef B'Diburei, Mishana B'Diburei, that it shouldn't be recognizable who he is. In other words, like they say in the English over here, it means he disguises his speech not to be recognized. Kilo Eved Aveda Zarah, it's like he's worshipping idols. That's what Rashi says. The Meiri says, Machlef Dibura, which is normally the simple meaning of the word, he changes his word. He doesn't keep his word. He says one thing and does then does something else. Where do we see it's like worshipping idols? Siv it says over here, by Yaakov, when Yaakov impersonated Esav, it said, Vayisi be'enov kemesateah. Yaakov said to Rivka, when she told him, go disguise yourself as Esav. So Yaakov said to Rivka, I'm going to be like a deceiver. And it says, Hevel Hema Ma'aseh Tatuyim. The idol worshipping, it says, their vanity, the work of deception. So you see that if you disguise yourself, then it's like worshipping idols.
And that's also one of the things that that's included in Shusterman mitzvahs. I mean, not Shusterman mitzvahs. I mean, one of the things Yisraelim accepted upon themselves was not to change a word, right? Which is the reason why Yaakov kept Rachel.
No, because he made a promise to her.
Right.
Not to,
so he didn't want to change his word. He had promised.
The Rebbe didn't say that, by the way, the Rebbe doesn't say it's one of Shem mitzvahs b'nei
No, I didn't say that.
It was accepted universally
that,
when you promise, keep it.
Yeah. On top of the 7.
It's not one of the Shem mitzvahs b'nei. They can't be punished for it.
I know. I mean,
okay.
It was something that the Yisraelim had accepted upon.
Yeah.
Is this the same thing?
Yeah. Amar Rabbi Lazar Kamistakel Be'erva, whoever looks at the nakedness of a woman, Kashti Neneris, his bow is empty, meaning he's not able to produce children. Shenemar Erya Ter Kashtacha, nakedness will empty your bow. Amar Rabbi Lazar, Le'elam Avei Kavel V'Kayim. A person should always be humble and thereby live. Meaning live with humility. Means as Rashi says, stay out of the limelight. You're out of the limelight, you live long. When you're in limelight, why? Because people curse you, and public servants, they get cursed and they get assassinated. And so he says, we even learned it in the Mishnah, Beis Ovel, a dark house, you don't open a window to see the tzuras of the house. And the word says Shema Mina, meaning like this. The din is that if the house, a kohen has to come and see if there's a nega, right? So what happens if the house is dark? So the kohen can't see it. No, it's not like today, the lights all over. Dark. So the din is, a kohen cannot look at that house to make a tummy. You can open the windows. No, it has to be what the kohen sees as it is when he comes. So therefore, you see, if you're out of the limelight, your house won't even have tzaras that you have to knock it down. It's all part of this humility, by the way. Okay, that was the end of Rabbi Loza. What?
I can't follow.
What?
I didn't understand this.
Yosef Tzaddik was the first one who passed on.
It has to be the natural, but tzaras are what the Gemara learns. If the house is dark, okay, a darkened house, which cannot be properly seen, okay, is disregarded. The kohen can't rule on it. He can't open the window. He can't bring light in.
Why not?
That's what the Torah says. It says l'chomar eni kohen. The period suggests it has to under natural lighting conditions. The light without the need for artificial light.
So you can't use a candle?
No. A kohen is not allowed to use only the natural light that the house has, either from the doors, windows, if they're open, whatever. But you can't bring artificial light into the house.
You can't even open the door? You could open the door.
You could, if it's the normal way of...
Okay, so how does that connect to what we're saying?
So he says, because when you're not in the limelight, you're not being looked at with external light, so the house lasts long because it doesn't have saras. Okay, that was all these Rabbi Loza statements. Okay, now the Gemara says, Gemara is going back to Tchis HaMesim.
Which Rabbi Loza is this? The Amora?
Yeah. Amir Rabtavi, Rabbi Tavi said the name of Rabbi Shia. What is this that it says in the pasuk? The pasuk says there are three things that are never satisfied: the grave, the narrow part of a womb, and the earth that is not sated with water. He explains what this means. So the pasuk says like this: Sha'el, Eitzed, and Eitzed Rechem, the narrowness of the womb, and the land will never be will never be full of water. What does it mean? So the Gemara says, what does a grave have to do with a womb? Right? The pasuk puts three things in the same pasuk: a grave, a womb, and the earth. So what's the connection between a grave and a womb? Just like a womb of a woman, yeah, takes in the zera and gives out a baby. The same thing, a corpse is going to die in the earth and is going to give it out. Right? The grave took the person in to be buried and it's going to give it out. Yeah. The dvarim is a chavochayim. What a womb that takes the sperm in silence, right? There's no commotion in the world. When the baby comes out, it's yelling and screaming and crying. Yes, so the zera goes in quietly, and the baby comes out yelling and screaming. So a grave that people cry and scream by a burial, yeah? They used to have the mourners, they used to with instruments and all that stuff. So for sure, when the person's going to get up from the grave, there's going to be a lot of commotion. From here is an answer that a proof to the people that say Tchis HaMesim is not Minatayla. Here's a clear pasuk that says the grave is going to take in and take out. Just like the Rechem. Tanad Ve'eliyo. You know, it's an interesting thing. This Tanad Ve'eliyo, he brings on at the bottom. Who is this? We say also every day in David. Tanad Ve'eliyo, Kashen Alochas B'chol Yom. Right? Who is this Tanad Ve'eliyo? So he brings down Beersheba. He brings, whenever it says this, the article brings it down. It's not Eliyahu Navi. There was a Tana by the name of Eliyahu. Yeah, and this is Tana Brises. Now, one second.
Is by Eliyahu.
Yeah, 1 second. But other opinions says, and he brings down, who is this? Chida, others say no. Tanad Ve'eliyahu, there was an Ameda called Rav Anan, and Eliyahu Navi used to come learn Brises with him. So Tanad Ve'eliyahu, one opinion says that it's Eliyahu Navi, and learned the Brises with this rabbi of the Gemara called Rav Anan, and therefore those Brises are called Tanad Ve'eliyahu. Other Mefarshim explain, there's a rule all over the place. Whenever it says Tanad Ve'eliyahu, so who does it mean? Either Eliyahu Navi, or who learned with Rav Anan, which was an Amir of the Gemara, or it means a guy by the name of Eliyahu.
So if according to the first opinion, was the Amira who had a yeshiva, and his yeshiva...
That's the second opinion, but okay, it doesn't matter. No, Rav Anan, yeah.
No, the second opinion is Eliyahu Navi.
No. The first opinion is Eliyahu Navi. No, second opinion is Eliyahu Navi used to learn with his Rav Anan.
Right, but
another opinion said there was a rabbi called Eliyahu.
And he had a yeshiva.
Yeah.
Well, everything is not necessarily from him. It was from his yeshiva, just like...
the Brises that he... Yeah, the Brises... Well, Beisham is all Beisham. Tanad Ve'eliyahu means the Brises that were learned to the yeshiva of Eliyahu.
I mean, the yeshiva of Beisham went on for hundreds of years, huh?
No, they were disciples, not hundreds of years. Didn't go on for hundreds of years.
A couple of generations.
2, 3 generations. But they're all the Talmidim of that school.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, the school...
So the same thing here.
Time Chatzmi is Tawid Rebbe Rashab. Now it's...
Okay, so as opposed to Rabbi Lazar, everything he's saying is he himself. It's not his devei. I'm just saying.
Right.
So
Right.
when it's a devei, it's coming from not necessarily everything from that.
But the yeshiva, right.
It was
Right.
from the yeshiva.
Yeah. But usually if it says Eliyahu, he was the main guy in the yeshiva. So basically it went through him. Anyway, what does he say? Tzadikim Shaser Kadosh Baruch Hu La'achyesam. This is all very interesting discussion. This is a little bit complicated to understand, not what it means. It means it's simple, but Tzadik Beis Amid Aleph, 2 lines from the end of the page. Tanad Ve'eliyahu. Tzadikim Shaser Kadosh Baruch Hu La'achyesam. The tzadikim that Hashem's going to get up Tchias HaMeisim, Ein Chayzrim La'ofer, are never going to die. Okay?
No one is going to die after the...
No, that's not so simple. Because they say between the end of Messianic era and the world to come. Okay? And their bodies will remain intact until they come to alive again in the world to come. We have to see later. Because the Shaila is, the Gemara says later on like this. The Eibishter created the world for 6,000 years. Then Chad Churuv. Then 1,000th year, the world's going to be Churuv, destroyed. One opinion says Trei Churuv. 2,000 years are going to be Churuv. So, one of the ways of literally learning, it means the world will be completely destroyed. There won't be no people, no nothing. Okay? This is what we're going to see more when we turn the page. The Gemara discusses this at much greater length.
Does that mean there's not going to be anyone?
We'll see what it says. But he says the tzaddikim that are going to get up at Tchias HaMeisim are not going to go back to the dust when? Between the end of Mashiach, Yemei Mashiach, and the Olam Haba.
That's tzaddikim that are known as tzaddikim now, not Mechlam tzaddikim, not all Jews.
No, tzaddikim. The real ones.
Yeah.
Shenema v'aya nishe b'tzion, will be to pass the remnant will be in Tzion. V'anoyse be Yerushalayim, and the leftover people will be in Yerushalayim. Kodesh Yomer, the holy should be said of him. And it says, Kol HaKosav l'chaim Yerushalayim, won't be inscribed in life in Yerushalayim. Meaning, Ma Kodesh L'olam Kayim, just like God who is holy, lives forever. Afheim L'olam Kayamim. Then they also live forever. Okay? Now, And if you're going to ask, in those years during which the Holy One is destined to renew his world, that only God will be exalted on that day. What is going to happen to the tzaddikim basic when the Eibishter destroys the world? Okay? Now, if you look, if those that have the notes at one, the Gemara below, Tzadik Zion, stab base of this verse, the world will last for 6,000 years and will lie wasted for 1,000 years. Which says Hashem alone will be exalted. After, he's going to renew the world and usher in the world to come. So now one opinion says that for 1,000 years after Tchis HaMesim, this part of Tchis HaMesim, there's going to be a whole new world.
But he said that he's not going to ever destroy the world.
Destroy the world to build a higher world. So that's called the building.
For 1,000 years.
1 second. But the Gemara asks, Tzadikim Mahi Mesim. What are those tzaddikim going to do for 1,000 years? Hashem's going to resurrect them, and then he just got through saying they're not going to die before they get up again. Yeah. So what's going to be with those tzaddikim? So he says, Hashem's going to make them wings like an eagle. They'll glide over the water. They should not fear when the earth is transformed. The mountains collapse in the heart of the sea. Why? Because, so that these neshamas are going to fly over the water and won't be destroyed. And if you're going to say, Yeshlam Tzad, they're going to have pain of staying constantly above the water, it takes a lot of work. Those that believe in Hashem, will have renewed strength. Yalu Ever Kanisharim, they're going to sprout wings like eagles. Yarutsu, they're going to run. V'lo Yigon, they won't be tired. Yalchu, they're going to go. V'lo Yofu, they won't be tired.
They're going to fly for 1,000 years?
Yep. Now, if you think for a second, 1 second. Now, let's just understand this. B'chlal, the way we learn, the way the Rebbe explains everything in Tchis HaMesim, it doesn't say that there's going to be a destruction literally. Here the Gemara seems to be the world will literally be destroyed. And what's going to be with tzaddikim that are in a body? So they're going to get wings and they're going to fly over the world, over the water for 1,000 years and they won't get tired. That's what the Gemara says, basically, the statement.
What are they going to eat? When are you going to rest?
Okay, so obviously this is not a physical phenomenon. Yeah, but the tzaddikim are getting up in the physical body, it says.
And then it's the shamas.
Einu chayzim la'afram.
There's going to be Tehillah Meitim, Olam Haba, and then the world is going to get destroyed.
There is a bird that flies for 6 months non-stop.
First of all, there's 1,000 years, not 6 months. There's 6 months.
Right now, there's a bird that...
1,000 years.
It's 2,000th of then.
Nuclear power cannot do that.
Okay, so now the Gemara asks, and this isn't coming up as an
Any answer for that? No.
What? We'll see the Gemara later when we get to Tzadik Zion. We'll see about the Chat Chruv, what it means. Does it mean physically? Does it mean spiritually? By the way, this whole Gemara can mean spiritually.
But it says body.
Yeah, Neshama is going to be in a body, but the world will be destroyed in a spiritual sense, meaning the world, like it says by a guy that's 100 years old, Kilo Mes va'avar batum min ha'olam. So how does the Rebbe explain it? It means that he is above the level of the world. The world doesn't affect him anymore. He refined all of them. Meya, 10 times 10 kaiches, 100 kaiches, and he refined himself. So it's not going to be, the world's not going to affect him. I don't know. Well, you know what? These things will know when they happen.
But when it says destroy the world, that means there's not going to be any time. If there's no world.
Huh?
There's no time.
The Shiloh, what does it mean, no world? No, there will be 1,000 years, no world. So there will be time.
But for 1,000 years, there is nothing.
No, it's 1,000, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Okay. So now the Gemara says like this. The Gemara says a statement, once you get up Tchias HaMeisim, you stay up. Yeah? So the Gemara asks, let us learn that you can have Tchias HaMeisim and die again. Because from the Mason that Yechezkel HaNavi resurrected. Now what happened over here is like this. The prophet Yechezkel said Nevuah in Bavel. Yeshaya Rashi says over here. Here. Shemaiti Rashi says, Yechezkel, Nebuchadnezzar made him into Golus with Yechanya Melch Yehuda. Yechezkel was saying Nevuah in Bavel. Yirmiyah was in Eretz Yisrael. For the 11 years that Tzidkiyahu HaMelech reigned, so Yirmiyah was saying Nevuah in Eretz Yisrael, and Yechezkel was saying Nevuah in outside Eretz Yisrael. This is the Haftarah, by the way, of Shabbos Chol Hamoed Pesach, with the dead bones getting up at the Chiana Tzama Se'ela. Okay.
400.
So the Gemara says, what says like this? So the Gemara says, why can't you learn out? Over there, what happened was, the dead got up, the dead died, okay, be buried, and that's it. Because even the Mason that Yechezkel HaNavi resurrected, the whole bone
10,000, right?
whatever, we'll see how much the Gemara says there were. They're going to get up, they died eventually. So how do you know that Tzaddikim that Hashem resurrects are going to stay alive forever? Maybe they'll die again. And then when the time comes, after that 1,000 years, they'll get up. And that's why, how do you know they're going to be alive for those 1,000 years of Chruv? So the Gemara says, because he holds, Savula Commander Amar Bemis Moshel Hoya. The one who says that the whole resurrection was only a moshel, didn't actually happen.
Weren't these the people of Esau?
Well, no. Because the Gemara said, the Tanya. Okay? The Gemara is going to talk now, this is the whole Gemara, by the way, of those dead bones. The Tanya says in the Braisa, Rabbi Lazar says, Mason Shehach Yechezkel, the dead people that Yechezkel Navi resurrected, Amdar Agleim, V'amnu Shira, they got up and they said, praised Hashem, Mason they died.
Right away?
Yeah.
Or after they lived out their years?
No, they died.
Right away?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Because they had to get up to sing Shira. They died that day, a day later, I don't know, but they died. Mashira Amru, the Gemara says, what Shira did they sing? It says, Hashem meimis b'tzedek u'machai b'rachmim. Hashem puts to death with justice and brings to life with mercy. Okay? Rabbi Yeshua says, no, they had a different song. Shira zu Amru Hashem meimis u'machaya. Hashem makes you die, gets you up. Meir Shavayol puts to death, brings to life, brings down to the grave and raises it. That means it goes up and down a few times. Which is, by the way, the song, that's from Chana, what Chana is saying by Shmuel over there, when Shmuel was born. Rabbi Yehuda Eimer, Emes Moshel Hoya. It was really a moshel, it didn't actually happen. Meaning, this is the way, what's his name says? Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda holds it never happened. They never got up. Hashem showed Yechezkel a vision of the people getting up. Meaning he showed them a vision of Tchias HaMeisim. But they never actually got up. Similar to what we learned in the Monday night class. The three malachim coming to Avram Avinu, all that, according to the Rambam Meir Nevuchim, it was a vision. There were no actual three malachim that came. It was a vision. A lot of other things in Chumash, the Rambam says in Meir Nevuchim, it didn't actually happen. It was a vision. Hashem showed Avram a vision of three angels coming and telling Sarah she's going to have a baby, and it was all a vision. It didn't actually happen. Amalei Reb Nechemya, so Reb Nechemya said to him, what Rabbi Yehuda said, a funny expression, Emes Mashal Haya. If it's Emes, then it's not a mashal. If it's a mashal, Amalei Reb Nechemya, Im Emes Lama Mashal, V'Mashal Lama Emes. He says, El Be'emes, what it means is, Be'emes Mashal Haya. Okay? Because Rabbi Yehuda used it, Emes Mashal Haya. He says, what it means is, Be'emes, it was taka only a mashal, it never happened. He just explained the term, what Rabbi Yehuda says. Because Rabbi Yehuda says, Emes Mashal. It was true, a mashal. So the Gemara asks if it's a mashal, it's not true, it's not a mashal. So he said, no, what he means is, Really, it was only a mashal. Rabbi Eliezer b'nei shel Rabbi Yisrael Galili Eimer. Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Rabbi Yisrael Galili, says no. Mesim shehechi Yecheskel, the Mesim that Yecheskel resurrected, all the Eretz Yisrael, they went up to Eretz Yisrael. V'nosan Noshim, they got married. Ve'elidu banim uvanis, and they had children. They gave birth. They didn't die right away. They went to Eretz Yisrael, they got married, they had kids, and the whole thing. So the Gemara says, that's what Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Rabbi Yisrael Galili, said. Ahmed Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseir al Baraglov, that's Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseir got up and he said, Ani mibnei b'neihem, I'm from their descendants, the famous Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseir. And I even have tefillin from my great-grandfather that had it from them. Okay? That meaning, Rashi says, that I have my great-grandfather's tefillin that they said came from those resurrected people.
They were all men?
Yeah, it seems they were men.
They were all from the tribe of Ephraim?
We'll see. The Gemara is soon going to say who they were. Okay.
You told me once not to say the emes because that's like a...
Huh?
You told me once not to say the emes because it's like...
What? I never recall saying such a thing.
Amen or emes?
Emes, the emes. Like swearing, that's,
Oh, swearing not. But
swearing to say the emes, like...
No, swearing not. But emes.
I remember we learned that these were 400 people of Esau.
No. Let's wait another second and you'll get your answer. Who are these people? So he says, we know that before the Yidden left Mitzrayim, okay, Hashem told Avram Avinu they're going to be enslaved in Mitzrayim 430 years. Yeah? Now, they counted 400 from the time of the covenant, not from Yitzchak's birth. So they were off 30 years. So they said the Kates of going out of Mitzrayim was 30 years earlier than everybody else. Moshe Rabbeinu warned them not to go out. And the Gemara says, what happened?
They ran out of Mitzrayim?
They ran out of Egypt. I know, what's a second. Shenama, because it says, Ubnei Ephraim, the kids of Ephraim, Shuselach Ber B'nei, Iftachas B'nei, Alod B'nei, Tachas B'nei, Zavid B'nei, Shuselach B'nei, Ezev Elad, V'arogum, Anchikas, and Nelodim Ba'aretz. And the people, okay, all these people were the kids of Ephraim, and they were killed, okay, were born in the land, killed them. And it says, Vayesabel Ephraim Aviyam Yomim Rabim Ephraim, their father mourned many, many days. And the brothers came to console him. Okay, so bottom line, that means...
was alive?
No. Yeah, the event while he was alive. That means he died, even though it doesn't make sense.
He had 10,000 kids before the Jews left it.
It doesn't say 10,000 kids. Where does it say 10,000?
How many were they?
Right now it doesn't say. It just says they're the children of Ephraim.
This is 30 years before Geula?
Before the Geula.
So Ephraim should have been about 200 years.
Sure, Rabbeinu wasn't dead 30 years before leaving Egypt.
Correct.
The Ephraim should have been over 220, 20, 30, 250 years old.
Yeah, but the pasuk says before the Vayamas Yosef v'chol echad v'chol adar, they all died.
But it says Ephraim was alive when the sons left. Should have been 20.
No, it doesn't say. Well, whatever. We'll soon see. This whole thing is very unclear. Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba Amar. No, I'm sorry. Ushmuel Amar. Elu b'nei Adam shekafu b'tchis hamesim. Who did Yecheskel resurrect? The people that didn't believe in tchis hamesim. What does this mean? Shenamar vayemer elai the part that Haftarah, right, of the Shabbos Chol Hamoed Pesach. Ben Adam Atzama Sa'ela, these dried bones, Kol Beis Yisrael are all Yidden. In the Emrim they said, Yoshua Atzmeseinu. What did they say? Our bones are dried up. Yavda Sikvaseinu, our hope has been lost for Tchias HaMeis, Zarta Lanu, and we're doomed. So these are people that, the Pasuk over there says, those are the people he got up. So these are people that said, we're never going to get up. Rabbi Yirmiyah Omer, Elu b'nei Adam she'en bein lachlucha shel mitzvah. Who did Cheskel resurrect? The people that they didn't have the vitality of mitzvahs. The lachluchas is called. The vitality, the chayis of a mitzvah. Shenamad hatzama seyavesh shimu dvar Hashem. Okay. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha ma'elu b'nei Adam shechifu tzehechol kol shkotzim v'lamashim. These are the people that covered the entire Beis HaMikdash with vaydazar and creeping things. Shenamad, because the pasuk says, "Va'avei ve'erev ine kol tavnis remesh ubei." Tavnis mean the whole Beis HaMikdash was full of remesh ubei meshakes chol gluli Beis Yisrael mechuka galkir savu. All the abomination, the idols were carved into the wall of Beis HaMikdash, and over there it says by the resurrection, "Ve'avirani aleim saviv saviv." That they're going to let them over round and round. So over here it says round and round, there it says round and round. Okay, we're not done yet. We'll stop here. Okay.
Shkoach. What's next?
Daniel.